in September 2015 we changed our website, took on CMS, X-Forms, pretty much like where Stoke earlier were talking about. We were sort of there 2 years ago. In 2016 we took a decision to improve our customer experience. We still have Lagan, but one decision we did take was to replace Lagan. We did go through a procurement exercise and chose the Jadu CXM product. One of the driving forces in going to CXM was something that would integrate with what we had already, but also we wanted something that was simpler than Lagan. Lagan is, for those Lagan users, is a very complicated product. That's good and bad. But we weren't using it at all to its capability. We wanted my account, self-service, etc. We also wanted for the garden waste integration with our garden waste subscription service, which was a thing called Web Aspects, one of their products, and that is integrated with our in-cab solution. One of the things that was very, not important necessarily to the council but to our members, was a direct debit service as well, as part of that new service. Yeah, and we'll talk about as well, it's been mentioned previously, there's a product called Single Point. We use Aligned Assets, a product called Symphony for our LLPG. We wanted to get a very good consistency in terms of address information. Back in 2016, early 2016, we were doing about 32,000 telephone calls a month at our contact centre. We had X-Forms on our website, but we were only doing about 2,500, 3,000 forms a month. So 75% of our contact was over the phone, 18% was face-to-face, and the rest was via the forms. We had an ambitious target, by 2020 to get that to 85%. That is going to take some doing, but we started down that journey. We've got 3 years left, but we have a real need to digitise as much as possible, reduce our telephone contact, reduce our costs, like everybody in this room, no doubt. My view is this type of project should be some sort of transformation group, because it's got to cover all angles in the council or the authority. Being customer services led has had some benefits and disadvantages. So the business case, about £250,000 investment over 2 years. Not all with Jadu, there's some other integration costs. We signed up to do 3 case types, so the first was garden waste, misbins was going to be the next, and there was also an educational fines process as well. We have integrated the garden waste system with our waste management system, so that links into an in-cab solution, and it allows our waste people to plan the garden waste rounds now, so they get new subscriptions coming through, they can alter their rounds, rejig the crews so they're making more efficient use of lorries as well as crews. And as I mentioned before, we were looking for an online DD service and integration with an address lookup service. It was quite crucial to us to get some good solid data to start with, because we've all suffered, no doubt, in the past with having customer information that's incorrect. It makes it very difficult in the future then to manage your customer interaction. So investment £250,000, projected savings nearly 300,000 over 2 years. That was mainly from staff cost, reduction in staff costs, so getting rid basically of contact centre agents. And also Lagan. Lagan's quite expensive, so we've actually took the brave decision, cancel all the maintenance support already, even though we're still running the product. So just to talk a bit about the garden waste. So this is our first case type. Garden waste sounds very simple when you first look at it. I knew nothing about it when I started down the journey looking at garden waste. Didn't realise how complicated it can be. But it was a good one to get Jadu to lead on, because they'd already experienced on it at previous councils. And on top of doing the service design and testing, we also looked at our existing data, so we had about 16,000 records of existing subscriptions. So we did some data import cleansing. As I mentioned, we wanted to do a custom integration with our waste management system, and we were also looking at procurement of a direct debit solution and custom integration with that. I think I mentioned earlier Go Cardless, so we chose Go Cardless because it was already an adapter with Go Cardless, but we also procured some other consultancy services to integrate with our waste collection system. So the first process, garden waste. Before we engaged with Jadu, we had a business analyst doing this is just part of the process map. This is how complicated garden waste can be. So we already had this knowledge of what we'd like it to be, what it already was, what it would, as is to be. This was our Jadu workshops. This is what it came down to. So we spent, I think, about 3 days in various workshops going through the process with Richard and his colleagues and the people from the service. And it did get quite complicated, but at the end of the day, so it all boiled down to something fairly simple at the top level, but there's quite a lot of detail underneath.
Yeah.
Hand over to you, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Garden waste was chosen as our first case type to create. We'd actually been to Windsor and Maidenhead to see Jackie, and she convinced us that that was probably the right way to go, because it was a very complex process. One of the things also we picked up from Windsor and Maidenhead was about data, migration of data from existing systems. And there was two lots of data. We had customer data, which is important because we wanted to create my accounts. We wanted people to be able to sign into the website, get information that was relevant to them. We wanted to promote things to individuals or groups of individuals on the home page of the website. So that was actually quite an important thing for us, was these my accounts, the concept of my account. Unfortunately, we went to our council tax people and said, "Oh, can we have names, addresses and UPRNs?" No, sorry, we can't do that because we don't hold the UPRN. Okay, fine. So we went to our electoral register, and our legal team said, "No, you can't use that either." Okay, fine. So we gave that one up as a bad job. But we then started looking at our existing green waste data, because we already did some subscriptions online, so we were able to go to that data, but it was incomplete because not everybody had actually subscribed online. So we went through quite a data cleansing exercise. We brought two lots of data together. Some was being held in an SQL database, and some that was being held on Wagon. Some had email addresses, some had, as Mike said, the data wasn't clean. It was actually in a bit of a mess because there were names missing, email addresses missing, all sorts of things. But we spent a lot of time cleaning that data up and doing what we could. And we imported, in actual fact, 15,876 records as cases. So they were existing garden waste cases with names, etc. Unfortunately, we never used any of it. We went to all that trouble and actually didn't use any of it. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. Just to show you the sort of level of integration that we've gone through. At the top there's the customer, the Jadu customer portal, the Jadu CXM, and then direct debit, which was Go Cardless. Capital Payment Portal is our payment portal, so that people can pay through credit card and debit card. That actually goes through a product called PayBridge, is that right? PayBridge, that's it. Which is a Jadu product which attaches to the forms. And then of course the single point, which has been mentioned several times, that caused us a little bit of difficulty because we couldn't look at our local land and property gazetteer initially. We could only look at the national address base. So when we started using that, of course a few addresses were out of date, you know, because the national one's about 6 weeks out of date. So now we look in the local gazetteer first, and then if the address isn't found, we can then move through to the national address base. So that's made a big difference. The WM collections, as Mike said, that's the web aspects. That's our waste management system. The integration into that. So Jadu created an API, web aspects created an API, and Jadu Forms pulled that data through. So basically what we can do is a customer can fill in a form, put their postcode in, put their address in. Jadu goes off to WM collections, picks up which day of the week the collection is going to be, where, even what round it is, pulls that information back. When the customer completes the transaction, it then pushes that information through to WM Collections so that it informs the in-cab system and tells the guys to pick up a particular bin from a particular address. The custom integrations, it's actually quite easy to use, as been explained already today. All these integrations, once they're in there, they're actually very easy to use, and all you need is a key. Yeah, and I'm actually quite pleased that I've heard things like Confirm has been integrated with Uniform and iDocs. These are systems that we use, and most of you probably use as well. And those integrations are being created so that when we do get round to the case types that use those systems, like highways, street lighting, then those integrations are already there, and there's not an awful lot of work for us to do. Absolutely fantastic. One of the things I like with the integrations particularly is the reporting. So if there's an issue, which we don't get many, but sometimes, like every system, you get a problem or a glitch, you can actually track through, and you can follow the case right the way through from the form that the customer fills in to the CXM and to the integrations and what was passed to those integrated systems. So we've had payments gone through but no case raised. Well, the main reason for that was customers were timed out. They've just left the form. They haven't actually submitted the form at the end. And I get an email alert every morning to say, this has happened. Thankfully, as I say, very few ever actually produce anything for any errors. We went live on the 8th of March, which was a Wednesday. We didn't send any emails out or notifications to anybody initially. By the Friday morning, I think we'd had 100 and odd cases. Not staff, but people had found it on, just actually come across it online and subscribed. So, and now we're up to about 11,500 cases, of which 7,000 are online, which is about 63%, which actually isn't a bad average. So, from Mike showed you where only 7% of our transactions were online, previously, we're up to 63%, so that's quite a jump. Everything is automatically updated. Our web aspects, it's actually quite important because it means that the waste team can actually then deliver green bins to the customer. We also use a sticker type system as well, so the stickers are sent out and the rounds are created. So WM Collections feeds into a round optimization package, which then is rolled out to the in-cab system, the WM Collections in-cab system. So the whole thing is automated. We really don't have to do anything. As far as the My Accounts, we've got 10,000 My Accounts. We are now in a position where we've got 17 case types to go live. We've been building the case types, testing them in a UAT environment, and they're ready to be rolled out. So, we're doing pretty well. This is a bit of a story, really. This is the first week, okay? As I said, we went live on a Wednesday. We put a few simple cases through, staff from the council, just to make sure the system was working. And as you can see, by the Sunday, by the end of the weekend, we had about 300 cases raised, but no advertising, no promotion, nothing. We weren't going to send any emails out until the Monday morning. On the Monday morning, 9,000 council tax bills hit the doormat. I didn't know about it. And in that envelope was also an advert for garden waste subscriptions. Yeah? So you can imagine what happened. Yeah? Every man and his dog decided to ring up or go online and subscribe for garden waste. And within 2 days we had 1,300 garden waste subscriptions. No emails have gone out, nothing. 3,000 calls that first day. Yeah? So it was it was quite hectic, believe me. 10,000 citizen my accounts. The beauty of my account is that they get a home page, so that when they sign into the website, you can see your cases that are relevant to you, your payments at the bottom. The link at the top there is to subscribe for your garden waste service, but you can also put other things on there which are important to you. So if we want to promote an event or other services, new services, etc., we can put that information on there. That's the timeline that you get. It means that the customer, if they've got their My Account and they have signed in, the customer, this is the customer's view. They can see the case and the progress of that case. This case is active at the moment, but any case that may be closed, or they can see the status of the case, they can see messages, updates, etc. that are placed onto that case. But that's what the customer sees. And that's actually scary for some of our service areas, because some of our service areas are using Lagan at the moment, and when they've completed a case, they're just typing in done, yeah? Which really isn't very good, not very customer friendly. So we're trying to encourage them at the moment to say, well, you've got to tell them what you've done, yeah? And why you've done it. Oh, crikey, that's going to take, So it's educating our service areas. Jadu we found really helpful. They've been very helpful, actually. They've created additional functionality that isn't in the package, that hasn't, that we've asked for as time goes on. Like an SLA calculation we needed. We felt it was important that the form was able to pass over a date to the case, so that we knew when that date was hit. Yeah, they produced that for us without any trouble. Street name lookup, the USRN. Yeah, they've done that for us. Parish lookup they're working on at the moment. And we've had additional site visits from them as well. So all in all, we have had a great, great relationship with Jadu, and a lot of support from them. And I'd like to thank them for that.